Welcome to IEEE Region 8 Virtual Students and Young Professional Congress. This is day 12. Can you imagine how fast time passes? This is session 4, which is run in parallel with 2 other sessions. I'm Adam Jastrzębski and I'm treasurer of IEEE Region 8 and a member of the VSYP organizing team. Now, I put up here in the message on the right-hand side of your screens about how you can ask questions and what you can do to support certain questions which you like more, which you would like to put to the top of the list. So please do so. There will be time at the end for those questions. It is my pleasure to introduce Stamatis Dragoumanos, and he is here in the center. Stamatis is a chairman of the Region 8 Professional and Educational Activities Subcommittee. He is also editor-in-chief of the Region 8 Today. He is also a member of various IEEE committees. He will tell you about a little bit more about himself when he starts. But his presentation today is about IEEE Region 8 Professional and Educational Activities as a companion in your personal and professional development. So, welcome, Stamatis. This is your stage.
Thank you very much, Adam. Hello, everybody. Hello, Jordanis. He wrote me a message, that's why. My name is Stamatis Dragoumanos. I'm a software developer, but I've been teacher for 5 years in a technical institute. So I have experience in both industry and academia. Today we will speak about professional and educational activities. The thing is that I'm wearing headphones. You can see blue things in my glasses. These are consequences of being a developer. We are equipped with such things. So excuse me for that. I look like a pilot, but we will move on. Hello, Alexandra and Dora. Okay, so let's move on. Well, Professional and Educational Activities Subcommittee has some really active members who have great experience on the field, and of course it's diverse, which is, as you know, the one of the advantages of Region 8. So I'm chairing the committee. Also, a member of the committee is Christopher James. He's a former technical activities vice chair. He's editor in many publications in IEEE. And then another member, and he's from England, of course. Another member who's also very valuable and he's responsible for the continuing education is Mohammed El Dalal. I'm sure most of you know him. He's involved in the entrepreneurship initiative. He's a co-founder, and he's also extremely active there. Also, we've got Reinhard Reding, who's from Africa, but at the moment he's staying in Italy and he's working there. Amit Kandakar, who's from Qatar, and Nizar Akbani from Tunisia. They all have great experience in education, and also some of them are in the industry. Excuse me. And they really do a great job. So, what do we do? First of all, I will show you what educational activities actually do. Then what professional activities actually do, and then those two combined in a subcommittee, and what's our vision and how we can help you in developing your professional and personal career. So, educational activities. The vision of educational activities is to become a major resource of choice for learners, educators, and education policymakers in all educational matters within IEEE field of interests. Educational activities want to become the voice of professionals in IEEE. Hello, Gerard. The voice of professionals in IEEE fields of interest on education policy, accreditation, curriculum development, pre-university science, mathematics, engineering and technology education, and continuing education. As you can see, as you probably know, educational activities are under technical activities. So the main mission is to help members and students and educators, practitioners, and the public to gain knowledge, technical knowledge, and follow the path of engineering. On the other hand, professional activities believe that being technically proficient is only part of what it takes to become successful in the ever-changing global economy. And more companies are beginning to recognize the added benefits of improving their workers' professional development skills and are providing training for it. So professional activities mission is to develop non-technical skill programs, such as leadership, skill training, project management, etc., in order to provide additional value to members, in particular to young engineers and students. So you've already noticed that education nowadays is not like it was 20 years ago. It's more of a more complete thing. Educators do not only focus on technical skills, but also in developing some skills that are needed to the young children so that they are useful in the society in the future. So having two committees, one for educational activities that's under technical activities, and one for professional activities which is under member activities, was a bit awkward because those two fields are, very aligned nowadays. So what was obvious that anyone intuitively could have done was to actually combine those two subcommittees in one committee, which was done last year by it was instructed and with great help by OPCOM. Educational Activity Subcommittee and Professional Activity Subcommittee were merged into professional and educational activities. And this is our logo, and we are really happy because, we were actually, whenever we had a workshop, we were struggling to maintain, to stay in the limits of the subcommittee mission. For educational activities, we really wanted to talk about soft skills and soft skill development, but our mission was more technical. And on the other hand, professional activities, we're trying to, develop non-technical skills for our members, but there's always, lectures on technical issues, etc., which they couldn't support it. So having those two combined really makes it grow fast. Okay, now it's somehow okay, that was an email. The next part of my presentation is a chat with you, actually. I would like to share my experience, which is about 10 years in the industry and 7 years in the university level education and 5 years in pre-university level education. as a teacher, of course. So I'd like to share my experiences on and really understand if it's worth developing non-technical skills and how we can do it in this great community, great organization which is called IEEE. So let's start having some questions. So if you were a project manager or a company owner and you'd like to hire just one person or one more in your product development team, which one of those personas would you hire? The first one knows the technical stuff a lot. He can find solutions to every problem. He's he's trained in future technologies, but he's not a researcher in IT, etc. But he's really good. But his communication skills, that guys are. He's a bit, nerdy. He doesn't communicate much. He has not the ability to, make people understand the technical things and and other things. And of course, his personality is a bit, and his ethics regarding technology are not the best. He's a bit arrogant and he's ironic in his conversation, etc. The second one, he knows the technical stuff like the back of his his palm. He knows everything. He's also researching in future technologies. If you have him, you're sure that the product will be perfect. But when he tries to communicate with the other teams like marketing and other teams, he cannot do. He just cannot do it. And of course, his personality is he's a good person. You can somehow trust him, but he could do anything for technology and science. But I don't know if he's committed in the company. He cannot understand perfectly his place in the company, etc. The third one, well, his technical knowledge is okay. He can learn things, though. He can adapt. And, of course, being in a team, he can communicate everything really fast and efficiently. Well, and, of course, he's a trusted person. You can trust him. You can assign him tasks, and he can work under pressure really perfectly. But his technical level is so and so. And the fourth one, his technical level is low. Of course, his charisma is maximum. He can convince you about everything almost. But he cannot trust him because you're afraid that you might give him a task and he will not be as productive as expected. So who would you choose? Well, I've been in companies, and I was also freelancer, and I was also a company owner. And I was usually choosing, especially if there was a team and it was not a one-man show, I was usually choosing the third one. Because I know that having a certain level of technical knowledge is needed, but by experience and by training, you can make it better. But the most important skill I was looking for in my when I was collaborating with people or when I was looking to hire people was to trust him, to know that he will not have a breakdown, that he will work perfectly under pressure and that kind of stuff. That's my personal experience. Of course, it always depends. If it's a one-man show, you probably need someone with more technical skills on the beginning, but I'm not sure that this person will stay long in the company. It's when you pay someone so much to support the company, and he's arrogant. So at some point he will go, or he will blackmail you for more money, etc. So all these things, people, company owners or project managers think about all these things. Let's go to question 2. You, as a student, what kind of teacher would you like to have? Would you like to have the first one his knowledge in the technical field is excellent? He whatever you ask him, he knows the answer. He participates in many research groups. He knows everything about the technical field. But his communication is a bit, you cannot understand things he says most of the time because they're too complicated. When you ask something, he looks at you like you're an alien, and he says, "Well, why the hell you don't know that?" and that kind of stuff. And his personality is, he prefers punishment over how do you call it in English? Awarding you for your achievements. You should see if you have Netflix, you should see a great documentary called 100 Humans, episode 5, about that. So the second one, he's not like he doesn't know everything, the edge of his technical field. Many times, if you ask him, he will say, "Well, I will have a look and answer to you next time," etc. But the way he presents things, you understand almost everything. Even if you don't, he's there for you, to help you, to mentor you. His ethics is absolutely aligned with yours, etc. And the third one, well, his technical knowledge is not that good, but he's an actor. It's like you're watching I don't know, a great actor performing while he's in his courses, and he's there for you whenever you have problem. He's really helping you. He's spending his time on helping his teachers, etc. But his technical skills, you ask him something and he kind of, hello. His technical level is not that good for a teacher. He's not confident on what he's saying. He usually reads from a book. He doesn't have an opinion, etc. So, which one of these three teachers would you choose? I guess anyone? No one. The second, yeah, of course. Yeah, I was unlucky in my life, and I had most of the teachers were like the first one. And it's I was good on technical things, but whenever I needed some help, whenever I needed some guidance, there was no way I could trust the first one. Yeah, the third one is usually being used in e-classes from big organizations like Coursera, etc. But there's no interaction with the students. They're actors. They make you really believe in what they're presenting, but that's it. So yes, as you can see, we prefer to somehow have the teacher to have less technical knowledge, but we need him to be there to be able to present, to be able to handle difficult situations with other students, etc. Well, let's see what the companies are looking for. According to Indeed.com, the 10 most desirable skills are communication skills, leadership skills for their employees, of course. Teamwork skills, interpersonal skills, learning, self-management, organizational, computer. You see, the first technical skill is 8th. Problem solving, open-mindedness, strong work ethics, etc. And in careers, government, New Zealand, positive attitude, communication, teamwork, self-management, willingness to learn, thinking, problem solving, and resilience. Well, and there was a survey some years ago, and I don't remember the platform. It was a job-seeking platform. 70% of the employers were thinking that they would hire someone with developed soft skills. But the main question that arises is, okay, technical skills can be taught. Okay, and we all know the way. Of course, there are modern ways to teach technical skills. There are modern methods. There's great research on modern methods on teaching technical skills, like project-based method, product-based methods, inquiry-based learning as a category, and many more. What we can understand is that technical skills can easily be taught, and they are essential on finding a job. You cannot be a computer and a software developer without knowing some basic algorithms and some computer languages. Okay, so it's like the shaft of the boat. In order to float, you have to have some technical skills. You don't have to be, like a speeding boat, etc. You have to have your skills advanced in a certain point. You send your CV, you have to know some technologies. But most of the companies understand that they have to pay a good amount of money to train you in order to be productive. On the other hand, non-technical skills are not easily taught. There's no way you can send a presentation to someone or a book that he reads and develops his soft skills, his not technical skills. Non-technical skills usually are developed by practice. The teacher of non-technical skills has to provide the environment to his students so that they can actually practice on certain skills and that way develop them. And this has to be done early enough and in a protected environment so that, when something goes wrong, there's no harm for the student. For example, on communication skills, on sending email. You may send an email that's really bad. If you were, that's, it may be, insulting people, etc. If you were in a company, you would probably have been, fired. But if this is done early in your educational life. And in an environment that you get your feedback that, okay, you shouldn't have written that, but it's okay. Nothing, you won't be harmed. You will just get a feedback. Then eventually, and if this is done again and again, eventually you will develop the skill of writing proper emails. Okay, so soft skills, non-technical skills in general are not easily taught. They are taught. There are many surveys that prove that, okay, it has talent is there, can be there, it gives you a start ahead, but you don't have to have it in your DNA or to have a talent. You can develop non-technical skills really good in a very, very good level. So non-technical skills, if we go back to the boat example, are actually the sails. Because yes, you float if you have technical skills, but you go wherever the flow goes. If you have the sails, you can manage to go wherever you like to go, wherever the needs are in order to have a good job and have a good life, etc. So what I'm trying to say is that by my experience, and I'm sure some of you already have faced it, in order to have a good professional life and at the same time a good personal life and to have a balance in your life, you have to develop non-technical skills which will help you go wherever your goal is. And you will be able to dodge specific, bad situations and obstacles, and you eventually will go wherever you like. Not all people have the same goals, but as long as they have developed their non-technical skills, they can achieve those goals. Like some people have a greater sense of balance in their life. Some people, tend to go for more profit, some for more personal time, etc. But as long as non-technical skills are developed, I've seen my students, I've seen my colleagues, they really move towards their goal really fast. I've seen people with great technical skills, like geniuses, who haven't gone where their goal was. And there are numerous examples in the market, like, I don't want to mention names. So, in professional educational activities, we believe that our programs have to close the circle of ages, which means that we will have programs for the pre-university level, where we will encourage pre-university students to follow the engineering path. And is this beneficial just for the membership? No, of course not. Because we engineers believe that our mentality, our set of soft skills is really helpful for the future society. Our ethics, our way of understanding things are really beneficial for the future society, because you've probably noticed that society is changing really, really fast. I'm not sure we are able to adapt in those quick changes. Like jobs are changing, artificial intelligence is taking jobs that people were doing. Social media and networking is growing fast, etc. So in order to be able to survive with this fast changing environment, I'm not sure that just knowing a computer language, etc., is enough. You have to have the mentality we engineers have. You have to understand what trial and error is, or that if you fail, it's just a step towards the success. And it's not a personal failure that will devastate you. So this is why IEEE is focusing on the pre-university students, because in the end it's helping humanity through the advance of technology. So our way of looking things, we believe that will help humanity in the end. And then it's the university students, where professional educational activities are there to help them in their studies, by helping them, by providing resources, and of course ways to develop their non-technical skills that are needed in their future life, but also during their studies, like teamwork, working under pressure of time and stress, and many more. Leadership, understanding their position in the organization, understanding the hidden communication between the members of the society, etc. Of course, a big effort is lately done on helping young professionals. Okay, I will not hide. Of course, young professionals is an affinity group that is the one that drops membership most of all. You know, we have to find ways, motivation for young professionals to stay being members for many reasons. And in order to do that, we cannot do anything else than assisting them. Young professionals are, early career or PhD students, or junior engineers, etc. They've got millions of choices. They've got many dilemmas each day, and of course, someone has to be there to help them. And we believe that IEEE will be able to do that. There are many platforms within IEEE that can help you. And of course, I will present later many programs that our subcommittee has that really can help you in this path. And then it's the mid-career and advanced career professionals. We've got company. Okay. Advanced and mid-career professionals who are, benefited by IEEE in the networking, technical stuff. Of course, educational activities are there by the continuing education programs, which will help them develop technical skills easily, and of course, non-technical skills. But until 2 years ago, this was it. What we're looking for now is to close the circle, which means that more advanced professionals or retired professionals to help, first of all, to have motivations being members, to find programs that will keep them active, and of course, help all the other categories develop also their skills, help them by their experience. And this is our goal, to close the circle. And so in order to do this, we have, in professional educational activities, we have programs and activities we're holding in order to motivate people, be engaged, and also help them develop their personal and professional skills. So in the pre-university level, some of the programs educational activities have are teacher in service programs. You may have heard it a lot. It's a train the trainer program where volunteers and specialists train teachers in a inquiry-based method developed by IEEE, so that they can use this method and motivate pre-university students to become engineers. That's the main goal of teacher in service program. Make teachers gain the technical skills, and also demonstrate to them the method that's described in tryengineering.org, so that they can use it implement it, that's a better term, implement it in class, and really make their students develop their soft skills and their technical skills. For example, a lesson plan that's used very oftenly in teacher in service program is build a tower, which similar programs are used in other methods. In this lesson plan, the students have to use straws in order to build the highest tower they are able to build. Well, of course, they're in teams. While being in a team and trying to discuss on what they will do and to design what they will do, they will develop their communication skills. Some of them will become leaders of the team, and so that they will develop their leadership skills. They will have to present their solution, and so except that understanding static dynamics, etc., they will also have to they will also have the chance to develop their soft skills, and of course be fascinated by the engineering path. A program that was introduced by Region 8 and now it's global is called TISP Week. It will be probably renamed to Try Engineering Month. There's a new committee on gaining all those programs that are being held and implemented all around IEEE, and they're trying to make them work globally. And this week was one of them. It was a global event last year, and it's actually gamification of the TISP, where during a week, a specific week, as many student branches or OUs in general, they try to organize TISP workshops. So it's and everyone is motivating the others. There's of course a committee who is helping on building the agenda of the workshops, and of course help them in every detail that's needed. So those that are responsible for maintaining the OUs that are holding the workshops are in the guide, are using the guidelines that were they're in their guidelines are named TISP champions. They were named TISP champions. Probably next year they will be named STEM ambassadors or something like that. But the role is to be there, hold the workshop in a proper way, have the sessions that are needed, feedback session, introducing IEEE to the students, etc., to the teachers, etc. Another program that's initiated by PEASC is Alpha Engineers Contest. What we wanted to do was to motivate sections, hold educational activity events. So what we did was, again, gamification. It's a contest where the sections participate, not individuals, sections, and the more they get points for each educational activities workshop they hold. Of course, this year it was not launched because due to COVID-19, but the last year it was launched and it went perfectly. We had 8 sections participate. They organized talks for parents regarding STEM education, TISP workshops that were demonstrated to children directly, career talks for pupils, etc. The section with the most points at the end of the year gets an award. Last year was $500 pocket money. Programs that are for university students are EPICS. You all know EPICS, where student branches, in collaboration with MOUs, are trying to create a program that will solve local community problems. Of course, you all know Entrepreneurship Week, which is Entrepreneurship Week, where student branches are encouraged to organize entrepreneurship startup pitching, and in the end, you've seen it in SYP that there's a final where 5 startups are competing and 1 wins a really big award. Another program that is really helpful for you is IEEE Learning Network. It's actually an online library of courses. Now there's a special offer of $10 US whenever you pick a course. There are, as you can see, topics that are really helpful and interesting, and some of them are AI and ethics, self-driving vehicles, 5G, smart grid, blah, blah, those nice things. And of course, non-technical skill development courses. Earlier this year, we had a contest, which is called IEEE Learn Together in Region 8, because it was organized by us, where we were encouraging people to get in Facebook and write a comment under one post we had, which course from ILN they'd like to follow and why. And we picked a winner. She followed including medical imaging in drug development, etc. Another really helpful program is the Speakers Program, where experienced and distinguished engineers form a team in Region 8 and they go have workshops in events that OUs are organizing, or they have webinars, mentoring, etc. We have a YouTube channel where these workshops are uploaded. As you can see, the topics are really interesting. Key tips for career advancement, creativity at work, leading people through crisis, etc. Really interesting courses. You can follow this link and watch the webinars, and there will be more and more. And of course, articles, if you prefer to read those presentations that are uploaded, published in personal and professional development category of Region 8 today, which is the news web portal of Region 8. The last program I'm going to talk about is the acceleration program, which will be launched in a week, I think, this year, where you student branches or other OUs are encouraged to write down a proposal of new educational program. This is a way to gather great ideas of programs so that we can give them a funding and pilot them, and who knows, maybe if they work, we can even make them global programs. Like Entrepreneurship Week idea was born by such a proposal. Okay, so what are the upcoming activities of Professional Educational Activity Subcommittee for this year? There will be an Educational Activity Board volunteer orientation on Friday, October 9th. Mark the date. It's a really interesting webinar on in order to understand what's the organizational structure of educational activities and to have the chance to learn about the programs from people that have actually designed them, and they're really, really good at it. We're going to have the second release of IEEE Region 8 Learn Together contest, which will not be held in Facebook, because we had some feedback that some people believe that Facebook is not secure and they wouldn't like to participate. It's going to be a form where you can write down which course you'd like to follow and why, and we will pick a winner, or maybe even more, because due to not traveling, we have some money to spend, and they can follow the course for free. And of course, as I told you before, there's going to be the acceleration contest in 2020. But as you all know, since we are volunteers in this great organization, this effort needs help. We have to help each other. And what we can do, what we ask you, one way to help is to ask you, nominate speakers. If you know someone who's a member and who's really, really distinguished in his non-technical skills, you've seen him present and he's, one of a kind, or even if he's really good, because we've got two levels, distinguished and experienced, please nominate him. The way to nominate him is in our website. You will see the link in the end. It's really a noble action to nominate someone that will give back to IEEE his huge experience and his skill and his talent. Another way to help is to report your educational activity events. There's a new category where now you can mark an event as educational. It's under technical, I think, where you can have select a subcategory on which one of those levels the event is included. So thank you very much. I'd really like to emphasize on helping each other. This path of developing your non-technical skills is a really interesting path. The ways to do it is really, really fascinating. And if we help each other, we can do great things. This is the link. You can get there and see more details for our programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Stamatis. So much useful advice and information, and we all know how so-called soft skills are important, but you know, the boat wouldn't swim without technical skills. It was a very nice drawing which you showed of a boat and sails. We all need these technical skills, so professional skills first of all, and we just find out when we try to progress through life that they are not sufficient, that you need to have a little bit more than that. So now time for questions and answers. We have two questions. If you click, Stamatis, on at the bottom, ask a question, you can see them. And everyone else can see them in the same way. Okay, so the first question is, has COVID-19 affected the programs of professional educational activities subcommittee? So start answering, please.
Yeah, of course. I mentioned that during the presentation, of course. Most of our programs are for face-to-face meetings. These workshops are not easily held remotely because you have to have interaction. The lesson skills are hands-on activities. So this is my son who didn't figure out that I'm presenting at the moment, and he's wearing just his underpants anyway. Yes, of course they were affected a lot. And we're trying to, move away of those programs that we had so that we can help our members in other ways, like contests, ILN, and whatever programs that do not need to be to have an on-site event.
Can I ask you additionally, so if you were to evaluate percentage-wise, and compare the effectiveness and availability of various programs this year with what happened a year ago, what would you say about that? To what extent have you managed to replace the face-to-face events with the virtual events?
Well, it's not easily measurable because in a face-to-face event, there are some people that were able to attend, but the interaction is much more productive. On the other hand, with webinars, there are many attendees, but the interaction is not the best. So I cannot measure it. I think each method has its own advantages. So I think it was a good year. It could have been better, but yeah, we did our best, and we're trying to focus on the benefits the members will have. That's why we replace some programs with contests, so that at least people learn something, even in this situation. So yeah, it's different. I don't know if it's better than last year. No, it's political answer, but that's it.
Oh, thank you, Stamatis. We have one more question, so let's put that question into those which have been answered. Now, the second question is, do you think that non-technical skills will suffer due to COVID-19 and the rise of remote education?
Okay, that's an interesting, really good question. Well, they don't, because some skills now, some other skills are developed more than the skills that were developed before. For example, I'm working remotely for 5 years now, and I've developed skills that were not developed before, like communication skills, working under pressure and stay focused, because I work from home, and staying focused is not easily in such an environment. Leadership remotely, it's I don't think they will suffer. They will just move in another interesting field. And of course, it's something that, since soft skills keep developing and developing whenever you use them, it's something that will not last much. Next year we will be again developing those skills that we were developing, but we will have some more skills in our toolbox. So,
well, thank you, Stamatis. So let's put you on a screen. Well, I am on the screen as well. It's automatic, And so we can close the session now. Thank you, everyone, for attending this session, and keep safe. Keep safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.